No, 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 no. Hello. Hello, goodbye bar. How are you doing? It's been a while since your girl Esther Joy has come on live streaming. Because she loves you, she misses you. Your girl Esther Joy loves to talk about love, light, joy, and peace. And today we like to spread those vibrations to the trees. I did hug a couple trees, and I'm wearing like this fuzzy jacket that reminds me of a sheep. And you already know that this bug that looked like it belonged a part of the tree, but a living creature was on my jacket. Now I was outside and I had a meeting outside, and I brushed the bug back off, back in its area next to the tree that looked like it. But yeah, so it's okay not to do everything. You can't do everything, and this is something I struggle with. And that's totally okay. If you struggle with this situation, then let me know. Let me know. But without further ado, I thought it would be valuable and hopefully beneficial to someone out there if I kind of just shared what I've been doing to kind of combat this idea that I can't do everything and why I feel this way. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I feel this way. First off, society, I feel, is on the brinks of collapse. Well, let me zoom out a little bit. Now, with that being said, that's super cool and all. Nobody wants everything they believe in to crumble like dust. Everything we worked so hard for. But the world is impermanent. We know nothing can be destroyed. Energy can't be destroyed or created. It just cycles through and has new forms. So the permanence that we are dwelling in, unless it is of the one true source, of oneness, creator, God, greatest of all dimensions, that's the only permanent thing I would say that is structurally sound and eternal, because it is the idea that all infinite realities are connected, all dimensions are connected, everything is purposefully and perfectly put in place. So this idea of the society collapsing, that we're witnessing, have been experiencing as we go through this monumental time in history together, I love being alive, is great. I think for me, a lot of the times I think, oh my God, it's happening, and I need to do everything in my power to stop it from happening. It doesn't work that way. Let me let my dog out. Let the dogs out. There you go. I'm gonna close the door. So what does that mean? It really means that for me, I've been running around like a headless chicken trying to figure out how to save humanity or something silly like that, when in reality, my job is to just do the best I can with what I have and to live, just to live, enjoy life. I'm not going to live forever. That's not the goal in this body, anyways. I want to live in this body while I'm alive. I want to experience life, and a big part of experiencing life, I've learned, is the suffering and the pain, and being able to experience that without it in a way damaging you or making you afraid of it, I think is really powerful. So society is recycling, and we're seeing that. And I wanted to do some work because I am actually working for as a web designer for the Deep Adaptation Forum, which is a great website if anybody ever wants to learn more about this website. I will do my best to share in the link below. Just don't mind me. I have to pull it up because Esther doesn't plan these things; they just happen. I am planning some of this, more or less, because this is a part of work. And you know what? I don't even know how these people found me. But I do know I'm thankful that they did find me, because, sheesh, it all aligns with the dream I had a couple years ago. Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. What I will say is that yeah, the dualistic chaos is crazy. I get to talk with soul family, and a lot of them are at the point where they're tired. They feel like they don't belong. They feel hurt because there's so much fear in the world that it's very hard for them to live in truth when majority, it seems, of people are afraid of the truth, and they simply just want to do what they're here to do and then move on. And I feel you. You know, I'm like, all right, God, source, like, tell me what to do. I'm gonna do it. I'm ready. Like, yo, I went to sleep at 2 a.m. yesterday because I was working on homework and working on web design. I was working on work, and I don't know, I felt so restless. I didn't feel like I could go to sleep. I had to do something. And this feeling like I'm not doing enough. The world is ending, and here I am just sitting, like, twiddling my thumbs, just, you know, telling people, you know, and I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And this thought was driving me mad yesterday. I started crying. I actually recorded it just because sometimes you just don't feel like doing work. Sometimes I'll record myself, not to publish anymore, but just to keep myself accountable, as if somebody is watching. Somebody's always watching. I don't know why. I'm just watching myself, I guess. And I was having a tantrum. My inner child did not want to do the work. It didn't feel like it was going to help anything. And it was just struggling because it had so many things in its mind that it wanted to do. It was like, oh my gosh, you have school, you have work, you have this, you got to prepare for the world's ending. You have your friends, family, you got to check up on them. You got to, you know, the competition, you got this. And I found myself paralyzed with just the thought of what I was throwing at myself. Be it like, these are things I want to do, you know? They're things that I trust will get done in God's time, you know, in good timing. But I was literally paralyzed and did nothing for almost a whole hour because I could not just sit down and do one thing. And that one thing was just take a 7-question quiz. I just could, for whatever reason, I just could not. Keep in mind, I also had like maybe 20 tabs open because I was going to send my resume, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to set up a meeting, and next thing you know, I'm not doing anything. I'm just paralyzed, and I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. I feel you with the excuses. They're running out. And I'm finding so much value in saying less. You know, as I've been taking more time to contemplate the future of this YouTube channel and just my personal, I guess, brand, my creation, who I am and how I show up in the world, I feel this, like, just value for the times when I'm able to sit silently with my mind and just do that thing, just that one thing. And I'm not thinking, is this going to help solve everything? Is this enough? You know, am I doing enough? When I just sit down and do it, it's amazing what gets done. And sure, in my case, I was up at 2 a.m. doing these things because I just had this hunger within me that was like, I need to do something. I need to do it now, and I'm not going to rest until I feel satisfied with what I've done. And this is what I wrote yesterday. When workmen finish their workday, they do receive their pay. Now, why did I write this? Technically, it was actually for the quiz that I was taking yesterday. This wasn't a question. It just stood out to me what the writer was saying. This is from Tales from the Underground, I believe is the name of the work. And I found this really interesting. I think I thought that this was, you know, this would have like some kind of tongue twister. What's good, Raymond? What's good? Oh, what's good, Diane? I feel like when workmen finish their workday, they do receive their pay. These are two parts, okay? We have when workmen finish their workday. So we all work on one thing. Even babies, you could say, work. They work on learning and adapting to the environment that they're rapidly growing in. And what does that pay? For some of us, that's money. I mean, for a good majority. Some of us it's money. For some of us it's knowledge. For some of us it's connections. For some of us it's you're tending to a garden. You're a farmer. As a workman, you're just working throughout the day. Your day might finish earlier than others. It might start earlier than others, crack of dawn, and by the time the sun is midway up, you're done. And your pay is the fruits of your labor. And so when I was thinking about this in terms of preparations, or just thinking about this with the idea that you can't do everything, I found myself being a very bad workman because I was trying to do everything and I wasn't finishing my work day. I was kind of tapering it on for the next day. Or I was writing down a note, which is totally okay. It's okay to write notes to remind yourself of these things. But it's another thing to never actually do them and just write them down. And then get caught up with another thing. And then you end up not actually ever finishing your workday, or like me, staying up at 2 a.m. because you're not satisfied until you're done. And for me, that pay is the emotional understanding that you have satisfied your work for the day. It doesn't have to be, oh, I have to go to work. I mean, for a lot of people it is. It's doing something, going to a job. It's doing your job. But this is like, as a human, it's time to prepare. And as we see things collapse, they're going to collapse at a rate where you can adapt if you just do a little bit at a time and work a little bit at a time. Just a little bit. Like, yeah, society's collapsing. Things are crazy. For me, this really helped. It helped me understand that if I do the work, at the end of the day, if I really actually do all the work, at the end of the day, I will get what I deserve, or my reward for doing the work and putting in the energy so it can fully alchemize. If you put in half the work, you're not going to get anything. That's not like, you can't put in half a seed and expect to grow a tree. Like, you have to allow the full entirety of that day, of your idea, of your being to be present. You can't do everything. You can't fit everything in a day. You can only do so much, and you will get your reward for doing what you can do, but you have to finish it. So, oh God, yeah, Cloud, you already know the feeling of releasing anger and screaming. That was me, definitely, for, again, like a good hour of yesterday, and I needed it. I cried, I think, a total of 2 times yesterday for no real reason other than I just felt myself getting frustrated with my being and interacting with others and feeling like it's not going as it should. So this whole idea of work is understanding that you can only do so much. You can't do everything. It's not your job to do everything. You are not here to save the world. You are here to save what is in your vicinity, to preserve the life that you perceive. But none of us are probably going to see the whole world, if we're being honest. Do you have plans to touch every inch of the soil on the earth? That actually doesn't sound like a bad idea, now that I said it out loud. But you see, if I dedicate my life to that, I'm going to have to sacrifice a lot of other things. I don't think I can go to the moon if I want to trek every inch of the earth. What about the ocean? We all have a purpose here on earth, and it's okay to, explore what other people are doing and see and feel what is right for you to do at this time. You're not here to do everything alone. Absolutely not. You can't do everything alone. You are growing. Thank you, Cloud. I appreciate it. I love the chicken. And because of this growth, we're all supporting each other. You really don't have to do anything other than what you're doing right now. And if you don't know what you're doing right now, just figure that out. That's it. You don't have to, have it all sorted. I really don't. I wish I did. I don't. And every single day I wake up and I think, what do I need to do today? I have so many sticky notes on my desk. I was just telling my business partner, Danielle, in a meeting I have them all stacked up, I write them down. That way I don't forget things. And I will ask myself every day, what do I need to do today? You could say to receive my pay, to grow the fruits in my own garden so that they can flourish. And when you grow the fruits in your own garden, when you're not focused on other people's lawns, because the grass is always gonna seem greener on the other side, but that's because you staring at their lawns and you're not watering your own, okay? When you do the work with what you are given in your environment, alchemizing and really seeing what do you feel like is broken right now in the world that is causing the societal collapse that we're seeing. There are a lot of things that are broken in the world. You've probably experienced them. You've probably felt them very deeply. And that's good. Because if we don't have these things, then we won't know what needs healing. We won't know where that compassion is needed and where many people are fearful of. And so they avoid it and they just try to resist it. Suffering is an inevitable part of human nature. Like, pain is a part of the purpose of life. Stuff sucks sometimes, and it's okay to feel a type of way about it. I know I do. I definitely have my moments. So scream if you need to. Thank you, Robin. I love the little chickens. You guys are so cute. Thank you. And it's so important to allow yourself just a little bit of time and space to feel how you're feeling and know that, yeah, life is changing. You can't stop it from changing. You can't stop society from collapsing and rearranging. But what you can do is you can cultivate the space that is immediately in your vicinity, because you're not giving that energy anymore to things outside of you. You're allowing yourself to cultivate the gardens. We're not here to look at our neighbors' gardens and, worry about their crops when we have our own gardens to worry about. And guess what? When the hard months come and your neighbor is hungry, if you really did the work and you worked on your own garden, you'll have enough food for not only yourself, but your loved ones, your neighbors, and you'll be able to give more abundantly. So this is a time of preparation. It's a time to really reflect on where you are at right now, to respect your journey and others' journeys, to acknowledge where fear is popping up in your life, because I do feel like fear is one of the number one things that are accelerating the social collapse that we're going to continue to see kind of expand. So it's preparation season. It's time to prepare. It's time to, again, not to scare anyone. Fear is a thing that as humans we feel for a reason, and knowing how to leverage fear can actually help you very much with taking action and knowing what to take action on. You're not just taking action based on fear and freaking out, but you're allowing that fear to reveal the deeper motive for why you feel that way. Oh, I'm afraid that society is going to collapse. Why are you afraid that society is going to collapse? Because I'm comfortable with things how they are now. Why are you comfortable with things how they are now? I don't know who's comfy with things are now. But I'm just going down the rabbit hole. For me, I think a lot of the fear that I have felt has been surrounding security and feeling safe in my being and feeling safe, with the divine connection that I have and trusting that it is there. And it's a natural, innate part of my being and every single living being. And that's been the foundation of where I put all my fear. It is to acknowledge when that fear comes, oh my God, things are changing. It's getting real crazy up in here, up in Earth right now. Crazy that I'm alive. And realizing that, okay, that's great. The fear wants me to do a million things. It's like, you have to do this immediately, right now. We don't have time. It's making me. And then I realize, I take a step back and I'm like, okay, I have all of this energy because I have all this adrenaline pumping because of the fear. What can I do with it? Where can I direct it? What actions will best help me prepare? So I'm aware that the fear is playing a role, but it's actually helping me know. It's just bringing more consciousness to what I need to focus more on, which is pretty much the opposite of wherever the fear is coming from. So for me, this has really been realizing that, Esther, there's only so many hours in the day, and you can only do so much, and you can't save everyone. It's not your job to save everyone. Nobody, I mean, sure, I was gonna say, did God put you down here on earth? I'm like, Esther, you gotta go save everybody, every single soul that you see, save them. I think we all have that mission, right? We all just come around saving each other. But sure, I think that a purpose, and there are going to be people that when I am given the opportunity to, it's going to unfold in the way that I can best help them, serve them. And I'm talking about like, oh, what should we do? Like, what should we do in order to best prepare? And it shouldn't be like a million things. It shouldn't be like, I need to do A, B, C, D, D. Because that's too much. You can't do everything. But if you can find one thing, and I actually learned this from the Buddhist nunnery that I've been working with, freelancing, helping them with their website. And in one of the drama talks, they talked a little bit about this idea in the Lojang series of everything that you do should have one intention. Every decision you make should be surrounding that one intention. Every task that you do, everything on your calendar, everything that you say, there should be one intention backing it up. And the more that I explore this for myself, the simpler life becomes. And I see I don't have to do everything. I just have to do one thing. And I just have to focus on this one thing. And even if that one thing is finding out what that one thing is and exploring what that one intention could be, that's it. That's totally good. Nothing's set in stone. But just do the thing and deal with it. It's okay to feel the fear. It's there. So, do it. It's okay. I love you. I'm really excited to, sit down and do some work and explore a little bit more of what the future holds. The future holds a lot of things, and it's going to be quite exciting for many of us. And it's going to be scary too because it's unfamiliar, and that's okay too. I encourage you to find that one thing that you can do. Just do one thing that you can do. Because you can't do everything again, but you can do one thing. And then everything you do will help strengthen this one intention to a point where it's just automatic. Everything that you do, and whenever you think that, I gotta do more, you can just tap back into that intention, that core intention of your being. Is this aligned? And I kind of feel you. I'm like, what do you mean, one intention? I'm a multidimensional being, and I have many intentions, and they all revolve around one thing or another, though. They all revolve around one thing or another. I think for me, it's been understanding how can I connect with the earth more deeply and those who reside on it. Really understanding it. The amount of people that I've met that just don't associate with being earthlings, that are just beings with earth bodies for this moment, who know that they're here for a mission and are just wanting to continue and complete the mission they're on. There are many different levels of tasks or things people are doing, and each one of them is playing such an important role in each other's lives. I think the more that we as an individual focus on that one thing that really strikes a core, in our heart, in our space, you could say that special sauce that only you have, that seasoning you sprinkle on everything, the more we can tap into tasting the flavors of our own experience and what that intention is and what all of our work, everything that we do, like, for instance, I like to spread love, light, joy, and peace to the earth. I feel that everything I do should make my life and others more enjoyable and more relaxed. It should take away some of the seriousness of life and remind us of our impermanence while also, enjoying the experience. I'm still figuring out exactly what that means and how to set a good intention. And guys, again, I have sticky notes and sticky notes of just me trying to figure out what is this one intention. And you know what? I find that when I actually do something and I focus on it, I learn like this little piece, this little nugget that gives me a little bit more insight to what that main intention is. And right now, my intention has been to discover that one singular intention for me and my soul at this time. That mission that I'm on, that is the purpose of me being alive right now and doing everything that I do. I want to understand it more. I want to understand the being that created me and why they created me in this way. And I gotta explore. I gotta open myself up. And I don't have answers, and that's totally okay. I like that it's fluid, but it does help to have a little foundation that I can always go back to, and I can refine a little bit more, and I can sharpen that. So higher beings are very strong with their intentions because it is almost like teleportation. Sometimes I think if somebody asks you a question and the moment that you answered, whatever you said happened in that moment, wouldn't you be very clear with what you said? I probably take 20 days to figure out what to say because I'm a bit of an overthinker. But I'm learning that it's okay to, go with the flow and to leave space for wiggle room as a human being. Things are going to change. I don't know when society is going to collapse or how exactly that's going to look out. If, we could say it's gradually happening as we're experiencing it. Maybe we think a big bang's gonna happen. Maybe nothing's gonna happen and we all just transcended another timeline and we don't even realize anything's changed. So with that being said, we're just exploring and seeing where's that center, and all we have to do is be like, okay, it's around here. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to know generally where we're aiming. So fluidity is important because as humans we make mistakes. We can't always be, that's why we want to do everything. It's a part of us, from A to Z to B. You could blame it on ADHD if you wanted to, or just our way of paying attention to one thing at a time, not really paying that much attention to one thing at a time, multitasking. I think we struggle with understanding that there's such power when we just do one thing. Think of the greatest people on earth. Do you know them for many things or because they did one thing? Most of the times it's just one thing, man. It's just one thing. And when we can focus on one thing, that core part of our soul, it will trigger so much for other people. It's so easy, though, to focus on other people, what they're doing, how they're feeling, how they're perceiving you and what you're doing, and even taking their advice. And yeah, it's good to take other people's advice and see the reflection out externally. At the end of the day, though, they are not you. Never mistake their words for your own, and listen to yourself. You have two ears, one for the other person, one for yourself, and you have one mouth. So it's okay to not know what to do, what to work on, what you feel like is going to help humanity most. That would be a great question to ask yourself. I ask myself every day, how can I help myself and others? And then I go from there. I write down a list, and I know I'm not going to do everything on that list, but the things that are important and meant to be done, I trust that I will do them. And if it's something that's a little difficult, or like yesterday, I just felt really cranky and my inner child didn't want to do the work, I will sit with that. I'll have compassion, I'll practice patience, and when I'm ready, because I practice patience enough to just sit down, go through the emotions, and then do it after I feel the things that I felt. Sure, a lot of the times it's just me overanalyzing things and getting frustrated at how much I overanalyze things. And there's a place and a time for everything. So we're learning that, and I'm so thankful to take this time in this space to just share and expand a little bit more. You don't have to do everything. It's okay if you just focus on one thing every day, and let's just say the intention to prepare yourselves and the beings in your space who you practice loving compassion to, I'm sure. You Viber, I'm sure you do. To prepare. Just prepare. And how can you prepare every day? So that you can grow optimally and that you can enjoy your life. It's not just about preparing for the future or trying to figure out why things happened in the past. It's really about just working with what you have in the present moment. And yeah, sometimes you gotta take pieces from both sides. But at the end of the day, it's just bringing it all back in the moment and right now. And that's all we can do. And it's okay. We only have this moment. And that's all we need. You can only do one thing in this moment. And I pray that you spend it being more present. You're not going to be alive forever. The things that you think are so important really aren't that important. So enjoy it. Enjoy the emotions, the happy and the sad. And I pray that you just go with the flow of everything that you're feeling, because it's a wonderful world we live in, and I'm so thankful to be alive with you. When we die and we go back to where we're supposed to go, I know we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna be partying up. But you know what? The pain that we're feeling now and the experiences that we're receiving are priceless. And the timeline that we are currently in, it is incredible. So rich in learning and experiencing and connecting with each other. This is such a great time to connect with each other. And some people, that's their life mission. It's just to connect with others and help them connect with others. Like that's their mission. And maybe they have a specific niche of people that they connect with. You know, musicians or artists or just spiritual healers, whatever it is. There are so many different ways. But right now, just focus on being present. And I promise you, it's wonderful. So let's take 3 breaths to just ground as we get ready. I'm going to get ready to actually do some work now. And as I breathe, I'm breathing in all the overwhelm that I've been feeling. I've been feeling like, where to begin? I'm just going to breathe that in, kind of visualizing it, just going into my being and feeling, that feeling of overwhelm. And I can feel it physically in my body where I'm contracting, in my head especially. And I'm just going to sigh out. Again, just visualizing kind of that overwhelm in. And as I breathe out, it's almost like a knot that just unties itself. I can allow myself to relax a little bit more. And I saw like a little visualization of all of that overwhelm for myself personally. As I breathed in and as I exhaled, it was like, it all got done. And I didn't have to worry about how it got done. I just know that my body knows how to do it. And if I'm present in each moment, the time will arise for me to do everything that I have put on my own being to do that needs to be done. So, we're all here. It's all right. You'll get through it. And if you don't, I'll see you in the afterlife. You know how it goes, fam. Boom, boom, boom. But with that being said, I appreciate you for being alive on this timeline. It's not time to go yet. No, sir. There's a lot of work for us to do. This is just the beginning. The next 2 years are really going to be very fun and very, very educational to each soul that is experiencing it. This is the best experience a human could experience, guys. We got the convenience of all this technology. We can reach out to each other. We got all this information. We know what's happening. Don't act like you don't know what's gonna happen. But don't freak out. Don't think that you gotta do everything. You gotta get 2 years worth of food right now, immediately. No. Work with what you have every single day, and you will be provided for. You will have exactly what you need, and that is all you need to do. Okay? And I appreciate you. Now go do what you gotta do. Okay? It's gonna be alright. And again, I'll see you in the afterlife. I'm just joking. I hope to see you like in this world physically in divine timing, if everything works out. But yeah, I'm trusting in good timing. I'm trusting in that you don't have to do everything. Just do one thing. Even if that one thing is literally just breathing. Sounds silly until it's not, because people die and then they can't breathe anymore. Whew, I had to take a breath for that one. Oh man. All right. You're never alone, Cloud. Just let you know you're never alone. There's lots of people watching you. Up there, down there, all around, everywhere. And it's a beautiful thing. So take a few breaths. And remember that there's just this moment. You can clear what you felt in the past, and you don't have to worry about the future. You will be given everything you need in this present moment to succeed. I love you, and I will see you in the next video.